Welcome to Say It Larry J Live. No. Welcome to Say It Larry J. I am your host, Larry J. And just come on in, make yourself at home. I actually go in there and get you some dinner. I did some baked chicken breast, um, some string beans. Now, what I did, I kind of blanched the string beans, or should I, what is it, blanch? Or I shocked them, whatever you want to call them. And I boiled the string beans and then I kind of sauteed them a little bit in some bacon juice, and seasoned them. Nice little healthy meal. And then I did some yellow rice, used some of the juice that's from the boneless chicken breast. So make yourself at home. Go in there and get you something to eat and don't make a mess. And get you some, I got some tea in there, some juice. It's in the refrigerator. It's not just sitting out, just hanging out saying, hello, I'm sitting here. But it's in the refrigerator. But I have some tea, juice, and water. Tea, juice, and water. So make yourself go in there and fix your plate and come back out and make yourself at home. Glad to have you in. How is it your wonderful Tuesday going? I hope it's going well. So yes, make yourself at home. Now, I was sitting here and I was like, well, what can I talk about today? And so I was talking with someone. We was having this conversation. It was so funny because we had Charlotte, and Charlotte was trying to Charlotte was doing something for Quentin. And Quentin was actually working. So what Quentin did, Quentin was at work, doing his job, was a little frustrated, and went over to the manager or whatnot. And the other manager told him, well, you got to do some work. You got to work a little harder. So Quentin decides to go tell his manager, hmm, maybe if you get off your fat A and come help us, then we wouldn't have to actually be lagging behind. I'll repeat, if you would get off your fat A and come help us, maybe we wouldn't be lagging around. So that's when they went to singing that song by, what is her name? Oh, I'm trying to think of her name. And I was just thinking of her. That's when they went to singing the little song. No, it's not Maya Angelou. I'm trying to think of that lady name. But anyway, they went to singing the song by Oh When the Saints Go Marching In. And they went marching in. And he wasn't glad to be in that number. But they went marching in. I'm trying to think of that lady name. Anyway, but yeah, they went marching in that office, and unfortunately, they went marching out because he decided that he wanted to say whatever he felt like saying, loose lips. And that's where it came about with loose lips, because I was driving today and I said to myself, loose lips. Loose lips. What is loose lips? Loose lips is where you just say whatever you feel like saying. Actually, I can give prime examples. Loose lips is where you just say whatever you freaking feel like saying, and you don't care how the outcome and effects are, such as going in someone's office and you don't like what one of your managers say, and then you tell your manager you racist, and then you come out and you slam that door so hard that the glass comes shattering off the door, and then you think you're going to walk back and go to your office. So except this time when you go walking out, they have someone help escort you, not just out the building, but off the premises, because you felt like you could go in these people's office because you didn't like what was said, and you can call them racist. You cannot do that. There are prime examples. Now, why are you talking about loose lips? Because people feel like they can say whatever they want to say today. We've seen such episodes where people get on the internet, just say whatever they want to say, and then they think like the lady that was, what's the lady name? I forget the lady name. The lady, she was actually, they took away her rights, her stripes from the senator because she felt they pulled the video and they felt because she felt like she could say what they wanted to say. Oh, the school, it was actually that was just made up. They didn't really, do anything 9/11. I mean, that's what I call the event of loose lips. Well, how do you control loose lips? Think, then speak. No, the computer did not freeze up. Think, then speak. Because people have, well, said Larry J. You seem to get on your live and just say whatever you want to say. No, not necessarily. I don't say whatever I want to say. I'm very thoughtful. That's why you'll see me pause when I go into certain dimensions and I come back out before I get deep in it or before I cross lines in it, because I know these videos can be poor. But some of y'all don't give a flying flip what comes out of y'all mouth. No, I was not going to say that other word. You don't. Some of y'all, I watch certain stuff and certain things that people are typing. They just be typing everything. Like how you go on an unemployment link on Facebook and you looking for a job. Mind you, there are people that are out there that are scouting and that are recruiting for people looking to hire people. And you go on this group thing and you asking about, do y'all do drug tests? If you hire me today, do I do a drug test today, tomorrow, or the third day? Well, I just want to know in advance. But you need to know in advance for. You do not go and ask some people. And see, this is on Facebook. So some people, they don't even have the thought enough to go delete the comment or you just let it stay up there. So people just say whatever and feel like saying. See, you have to be mindful of people's feelings. And that is something I try my best to do. I try to be mindful of people's feelings. Now, some people say, no, you don't be mindful of people's feelings. Yes, I do. Trust me, I do. And how I be mindful of people feeling, because sometimes what I will do, I'll let someone get away with something once, or I may give them a look. See, that's your first strike there. If I give you a look and I just don't say nothing. Your second strike is I may, coach you or give you some constructive criticism of what you said. Now, your third strike, when I actually be loose lips and be a loose cannon just busting holes through all, well, no, you don't have the right to say anything. What, Larry, why do you feel that you have the right to be? I don't get loose lips. And then when I do come out and get loose lips, I'm still mindful of what I say, because there are certain things that can hurt people. Now, some people, they just don't care. Just be like open wide. Speaking of open wide, while we on the verge of loose lips, tell me, what's the man's name? Can somebody help me and remind me of what's the man's name out in Texas? The Governor Greg. Governor Greg has decided, because he feels, which there's some other stuff behind it, but he feels, there's a need. It is time to open up the state. We're gonna open up the state. We ain't gotta worry about no masks. Everybody, we're gonna go back to business as usual, like nothing have happened. Speaking of the anniversary that will be coming up, we will go back to everything as usual. Everything is usual. I'm sitting up there reading an article like everything is usual. You finna open back up a whole state. Oh, they got vaccines. Don't worry about it. We're going to make sure everybody get taken care of, get the vaccines, because businesses are suffering and people want their livelihood back. I didn't ever know they lost their livelihood. All you have to do is put on a freaking mask and wash your hands, sanitize, and all of that. How you lost your livelihood? I disagree with that, because there are a lot of things that you just can't do. Really? As much as I'm seeing people fly up in the air and fly down and land on a plane, shoot up in the air, shoot down, scrub the ground, taking trips everywhere like ain't nothing going on, and people have lost their. Whew. So he's saying that he's opening back up the state of Texas. He says that's a good thing. Just open back up, business as usual. Open your businesses. Businesses are suffering. Now, why would you say he loose lips? Because apparently he's not looking at the same news that we actually looking at. Now, but say it, Larry. How do I have before I go into that? How did you get to become the what you say? Now, I always used to then be where I say things at a certain caliber because I used to be shy. Um, that was back in my school days. I didn't too much say much. I would lie if somebody asked me could they hold a pen or a pencil. I would say it's my mom, my grandmother's, my dad's, just so I couldn't let them hold my pencil instead of me just saying no. Because people would lose their pencils and pens, and see, I was taking my own personal allowance before I started working at the fast food restaurant. I was taking my own personal allowance and I was going to the store buying these nice, expensive pens and pencils because I didn't like to write in regular pencils. I like writing in lead pencils. And I kept me a little pouch that I would keep in my book bag with just pens and pencils. And people always felt like the need because I was prepared and they was unprepared that they could ask me for pens and pencils. So as I got to college, I started coming out of my shell and evolving to where I actually be more outspoken. Even when I got, was it my first corporate job, I really had to start coming out of my because either you either become a shark or a pit bull or you just quit. They just ran you out the door because you had to be a tough cookie. You had to be a tough cookie to work there. So it actually caused me to be able to be more vocal, especially when you start doing public speaking, facilitating meetings. It causes you to be more vocal. However, I don't just say whatever I feel like saying. Now, some people tell me, like two of my sisters, they'll tell me, they'll be like, Larry, you don't have no filter. And I'm like, yes, I do. They're like, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do. Many times I say things out in love. I don't say things in harshness, but I say things in love. There's a difference. It's not what you say, it's how you say what you say. That's like going back to my other job. My manager called me in the office because she did not like because I had a team and she was over me and I was over my team, which that means she was over me and my team because I was the first in command. She felt some type of way because I could say whatever I wanted to say to them. And they just take it. They would do what I asked them to do, and they would kind of laugh it off. And they'd be like, "Oh, Larry, you are so crazy!" Ha, 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 ha. But now, when she would go and try to do it, they would pick up the phone and they'll call employee relations. Those of you that may not know what employee relations are, it's human resources, HR. So she would get mad, and she called me in the office one day, and she said, "Larry, why is it you can say whatever you want to say, you and the other manager, y'all can say whatever they want to say to it, and they take it they with a grain of salt, do what y'all ask them to do and laugh. And then when I said they on the phone with employee relations, well, here is why, because you have damaged them for years. You have abused them. So you have to rebuild that relationship that I had to come in and build with them. Because see, they know I truly care and genuinely, then this is what I basically told her. They know I truly genuinely care. Even though you genuinely care, you're going through a transition and reconstruction. So it's going to take a little time for you. So that's why I say some things, yes, I do, I get away with. And then another one of my coworkers, she told me the same thing. But I always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say what you say. When you're going being loose lips everywhere, saying whatever the flying flip you want to say, and you don't care how it comes out, how the ball may draw, how you slit people heads off, of course people are not gonna like you and they're gonna think that you're violent at the mouth. And then they're gonna call you loose lips because that's what sometimes I call people. I call them loose lips, where you don't care about people's feelings and how they think. It's not what you say. Now, except let me go back to that example. Well, Mrs. walked in on people's office. Now, what she said, it wasn't, yeah, it was kind of harsh because you can't go in on people's office and then you call them racist and then you slam their door so hard that the glass goes shattering everywhere. Who and then they gotta get the door fixed. Even though I did exaggerate that part. She did slam the door and she did slam it hard though. But you can't do stuff like that. Now tell me of some lessons how I can control myself of I don't want to be loose lips. I don't want to go around hurting people feelings. You think before you speak. It's easy. Well, no, some people they because I don't know why, but some people feel that they should have this rhetoric of I speak my mind. Okay. Speaking your mind is very one thing, but it's a difference when you speak your mind and someone speak it back to you. You have to be mindful of that. So you have to think before you speak. You don't want to think things, you don't want to say things harshly, especially if you're in the work environment and you're working with a manager that you really want to cuss out. You don't want to go and tell the manager, get up off your fat A, and then you help do this job. You want to try to have some type of dialogue and be mindful of what you say. You may come out with better solutions. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it works with me when I come out with better solutions because it's always an exchange process. Well, I mean, how do you get exchange? See, you can't talk. You have to. That's why I say you have to think before. Have you heard people say think before you speak? That's why some people they say stuff and then they be like, I didn't know. Okay, now you do. You know now, I bet you won't say it again. Just like that man in Tennessee. I guess now he realized. Now you do. Now you shouldn't. Now you realize that I can't just go on Twitter saying things about a political figure and think that I could just waltz away, skipping like as if I'm Mary Poppins. No, you see that you would get set down very quick, and your stripes and your titles will get taken away from you. That's why you have to be mindful of being a loose lips. Well, speaking on that note, I'm glad that I was able to come up here and talk with you, wonderful people, wonderful family, about loose lips. Hopefully, some of you all got some things from being a loose lips. Be mindful of what you say. You don't always have to be nasty, passy to people. You could just say things in love. Even the Bible talks about saying things in love and not in harshness. Be loving and kind. Thank you so much for joining in to Said Larry J. I hope you enjoyed this segment with me. Make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, and share it with someone. Because I'm quite sure some of you all in y'all lives, y'all got somebody with loose lips. Because you may even have loose lips. So make sure you share it with somebody because I'm quite sure there are a lot of people out there with some loose lips and don't give a flying care. Now somebody else probably would have said, "Don't give a flying f bomb," or what they say. But make sure you share. But thank you so much for tuning in to Said Larry J. Until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday night. Bye.